Are you stuck on the commission roller coaster? Maybe you're struggling with your chase pillar, or worse, you're not doing it at all. Well, you're not alone, because the chase pillar is the hardest one for agents to fall in love with. But it might be just the thing that's going to get your business back on track. Today, we're diving into this idea of doing whatever it takes and how to fall in love with the actual part of your business that you've been avoiding. If you missed this episode, you might keep spinning your wheels. But if you listen in, you might discover that this one small change might make all the difference. Let's get started now. Welcome to the Agent Rise podcast, where we celebrate that you are unique, one of a kind. Instead of asking you to do things that make you cringe, we help you create a clear, personalized plan that aligns with you. No more overthinking or wasting time, just a straightforward path to building a real estate business you love. Welcome, Risers. It's that time once again for the Agent Rise podcast. I'm your host, Neil Mathwig, and today we're talking about the chase pillar and this idea of doing whatever it takes. All right. Now, the chase pillar, if you're not familiar with it, it is one of three pillars. We've got our sphere, our chase, and our attraction. And the chase pillar is the pillar that I see most agents struggle with. It's the pillar that's going to make you get outside of your comfort zone. It's going to make you do things that you don't necessarily love doing. And with that, it's the least favorite pillar. Like, let's just be honest about it, right? And because of it being the least favorite, it's also the one that we are the most inconsistent with. But it's also the most important pillar, or one of the most important pillars, especially if you're stuck or you're on a commission roller coaster. And the reason is because the chase pillar is meant to get you out there. It's meant to get you out of your comfort zone. It's meant to be the spark to your business. I sometimes explain it as it's the rocket booster to your business. Like if you think about a rocket ship that takes off, it's got that fuel tank on the side of it. And as that rocket takes off and eventually that fuel runs out, they drop that tank, right? And the chase pillar is the same way. It's one of these, it's a pillar that you can use to launch your business. But once you get to the business where you want it to be and your sphere is up and running and your attraction is up and running, you can eventually drop the chase pillar. And it's one of these things that you can even throttle. In my career, 2002 to 2005, I used my chase pillar. I did open houses every single Sunday, every single weekend. I mean, it was nonstop. It was my commitment to the business. And it was do whatever it takes kind of moment for me, was those open houses. But then my sphere kicked in 2005, my attraction kicked in, and I had more than enough business that I could then drop my chase pillar. But then the recession came, right? 2007, 8, 9, where sales really, really dropped. And my sphere wasn't influencing anymore, and my attraction was really slowed down. So I needed to go out there and get it. So I fired open houses up again. And I also made it working with short sales and REOs another one of my chase pillars. I added more to my business during the recession. And so that's what helped me get through the recession. And then eventually my sphere picked up and my attraction picked back up, like in 2012 and 13. And then I dropped my chase pillar again. And then I had to pick it up again in 2017, 18, when I stepped down from the CEO role at Realty Executives to launch Agent Rise. And because of launching Agent Rise and the money wasn't quite there yet, I had to sell real estate again. So I got back out there and sold real estate, built another team. And I did that all through my chase pillar and open houses. Obviously, my sphere was humming again and my attraction was humming, but my chase is what really, really helped me get going. So the chase pillar is a very, very important pillar, but it's one of these pillars that we don't love, right? So it's not exciting. And we're all about building a business that we love, right? That's our true mission here at Agent Rise, is we want three pillars that are congruent to us so that we can build a business that we love, right? And so it's really important to love everything about your business, but that chase pillar is kind of that love-hate. It's hard to fall in love with it. But there are ways for you to fall in love with your chase pillar. And that's what I'm going to talk about today, along with this idea of doing whatever it takes. This is something that I shared at the summit. And it's just this thought of, sometimes there's some work that we don't love to do, but we just have to do whatever it takes. And if we do that, the rest of everything else becomes easier. We had Stephen Ross at the summit, and Stephen wrote the book Doors Open When They Knock. And Stephen has knocked on over 125,000 doors. Just crazy to me. But he did all of this. If we ask him the question, like, what were you thinking when you started, right? Like when you started, and how did you keep going, and how have you knocked on 125,000 doors over all these years? How do you keep going? And he's got a lot of answers to this, and you should go read his book and really understand all of his answers. But one of the ones that really stood out at me was that he decided that for the health of his business, which is then the health of his financial state for his family, and also to be able to give him more time with his family, he realized that if he knocked on doors for 3 hours a day on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, that he would always be fulfilling his goals, and he would not only have the amount of business that he's looking for, but he's also going to have the freedom that he's looking for. And so he just needs to work Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and commit to those times for 3 hours a day, commit to that door knocking, and he would always be moving his business forward. And I look at it the same way. When I was doing open houses, I knew that if I did an open house every single Sunday, that I was building my business and that I was going to be moving my business forward. Now, how do you make this easier, right? Or as we're talking about doing whatever it takes, but how do you make this easier? That's the question I think that a lot of us have, right? We're always looking for ways to make our businesses easier. And my answer to that is to be passionate about what you're doing, to fall in love with it, and for it to be easy for you, right? Like open houses for me was super easy. It was fun for me. I loved the chase of it. I loved meeting somebody and just getting a little bit of their criteria and their contact information, and then matchmaking with them, and then helping them find their dream home. I loved meeting the neighbors that were, pretending like they weren't thinking about selling, but you knew that they were. And I loved that little bit of a chase, and I loved learning more about their home, and then connecting a buyer that I met at an open house, connecting them with this potential seller. And I love that. I got excited about it. And so that made the chase pillar much easier for me. Now, there were some parts of open houses that I don't like. I mean, obviously I worked every Sunday. I didn't like that. There was times where, I went out with the boys the night before and I wasn't really excited to be sitting in an open house. But that idea that I had of I need to do whatever it takes is what led to my success. And so when it comes to the chase pillar, we've got a lot of different chase pillars. We got open houses, we got online leads, we've got FSBOs and expireds, we've got circle prospecting, we've got door knocking, we've got geo farming, and then we get into all of the niches, working with seniors, working with first-time home buyers, working with investors. The list goes on and on and on. Right? There is a lot of different chase pillars. And so the idea behind this is to pick a chase pillar that plays to your strengths. Because if it plays to your strengths, you're more likely to stay consistent with it. And truthfully, it's just easier, right? So you pick a chase pillar that plays to your strengths, and then you come up with the commitment. And this is the hard part. You come up with the commitment to be able to fulfill your obligation of that chase pillar. And like Stephen Ross, it was to do Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, 3 hours a day, and go door knock. For me, it was every single weekend I needed to do an open house. Later, it became I needed to do as many open houses in the week as I possibly could. Sometimes I would do up to 4 open houses in one weekend. I would do them on Saturdays and Sundays. I would do them from 11 to 1, and then another one from 2 to 4. And then I would do that same exact thing on Sunday. So I would get 4 open houses in one weekend. And I did all of this because I kept it simple. See, a lot of us, we don't keep it simple when it comes to open houses. We overcomplicate it. We do them for too long. We set up way too many signs, and we just exhaust ourselves before the open house. I didn't do any of that. I kept it really, really simple, and I set up 5 signs, a big flag. I was there with clipboards, and I wasn't looking for that magical moment where I would meet somebody and become their best friend. That's like a unicorn moment. It does happen, but I wasn't looking for that. What I was looking for was search information information, what their criteria was, what they were looking for, and their contact information so that I could call them once I find it. And I kept it that simple, and I called it matchmaking. And that allowed me to sit in as many open houses as I could, have them fill out a form so that I can understand what they're looking for and understand where they're at, and use it to start conversation. And most importantly, use it to get their contact information. Or you could use an iPad, whatever works for you. But you want to get their contact information, and then you just simply ask them what they're looking for and how their search is going and what they thought about the house that you're standing in. And all of that combined gave me their criteria. And once I had their criteria and their contact information, I could matchmake with them forever. It was great, right? And so this became my jam. This became really, really easy for me. When you talked with Stephen Ross about door knocking, he's got all kinds of strategies and all kinds of things that he's used, all because he's learned what works. And when you knock on 125,000 doors, you usually figure out what works, right? And so the bottom line to all of this, and I could just keep going and going and going, but I want to make this message really short and sweet today, is that when it comes to your chase pillar, you need to align with one that excites you, because if you're not excited about it, you won't keep going. And then bottom line, you need to do whatever it takes. It's like Gary Keller with the one thing, like what he says is, what's the one thing you can do such that by doing it, everything else will be easier or unnecessary, right? Like if you are doing the one thing, and if you are focusing on your chase pillar and doing the difficult and doing whatever it takes, the rest is easier. The rest you can almost kind of call unnecessary, right? Like I know Stephen Ross doesn't do anything on social media. He's not on social media at all because that's a distraction. His one thing, door knocking, has fulfilled his business. It's given him plenty of business. He doesn't need to do other things. And so I'm not a total fan of removing all of that, because I know that there's opportunities there, and I'm a big believer in finding all of the opportunities. But you've got to protect your focus, right? And that's the idea behind this, is when you have something that's so clear and you make it your one thing and you dial it in, the rest of it becomes unnecessary and begins to go away. The other thing that I've mentioned throughout this podcast is this idea that, of doing whatever it takes, but actually loving what you're doing. And I have seen it time and time again. When an agent falls in love with their chase pillar, they truly become unstoppable. And what I have seen, I think about like Mindi Kestic right now in Madison, Wisconsin. Mindi is super fired up about working with builders, and she is going to focus on new construction. And she has what a lot of builders need. She has design background and marketing background, and a lot of builders are all doing this on their own. And so not only is she going to become their agent that's going to sell their homes, but she's also going to be their marketing and their design wing of their business, which a lot of these small builders do not have, right? So, and so she's really, really passionate about this and really fired up to be able to go. Just like I was passionate about working with doing open houses. And then I think of like Bobby out in Oregon, Bobby Bryan. She is passionate about working with seniors. And a year prior, when I was coaching her, she was not working with seniors. She was floundering. She really didn't know what she wanted to do, if she even wanted to keep going. And once I mentioned niching and working with seniors, she just lit up. So the point that I really want to get across here is that you've got to do whatever it takes, but it becomes easier when you're in love with your chase pillar. So the idea behind all of this is to go through all of the chase pillar options and find one that resonates with you, one that excites you, and then come up with this agreement for yourself to do whatever it takes. And I promise you will see your business move forward. It's a no-brainer. And so this also allows you to remove the clutter, and that's what we're all about here at Agent Rise. We want a clear 3-pillar plan that operates according to a day block, so every single day you know what to do. And when you do that, it becomes clearer, it becomes simpler. You can now kind of use that as a filter. I think a lot of us, we hear of these ideas out here and we're like, oh, that's a great idea. But if you've got a a clear plan in place, you can look through your plan as a filter and say, that's a great idea, but not a part of my plan. Right. So you can get rid of that clutter much easier and keep growing. Also, when you have a plan, you will start looking for things that will help your plan. Right. Like the plan is the filter. And now you're, when you go to a conference or you listen to a podcast, you're like, will this help my plan? Then yeah, I want more information on it. Or is this totally going to veer me off somewhere else? Then no, I don't want this. Right. And so this again helps with the clarity of always moving your business forward. So bottom line here is you want to make sure that you have a clear plan that's congruent to you and one that you stay consistent with. When it comes to the chase pillar, it can be difficult. So you have to do whatever it takes. But to also help with that, find a chase pillar that you're passionate about, one that you're excited about. Also, you should know that the chase pillar can be throttled, right? So it's one of these things that you can do forever. You can do open houses forever. You can door knock forever. You can do geo farming forever. I mean, it's one of these things that you can do forever, or it's one of these things that you can throttle. Kind of like what I did during my career, where there was times where I really needed open houses and I get out there and do them. And there was times when I would throttle it back. But you've got to be careful when you throttle it. You got to know when to and when not to. So all of that is important as well. So I want this message here today to help you go out there and do whatever it takes. Pick that chase pillar that aligns with you and your strengths, and then go get it. Go get it. That's what it's all about. And if there's anything that I can do to help you, I would love to have a conversation with you. You can always book a strategy session with me by going to agentrisecoaching.com. Or if you would like to join us for one of our small group calls, we have small groups of 4 to 6 agents in a group. And if you're interested in joining one of those groups, again, go to agentrisecoaching.com, book a strategy session with me, and let's get you going in the right direction. And let's get your 3 pillars dialed in, get clarity for your business, and then we'll hold you accountable to that. We'll do whatever it takes, right? That's what we've got to do to be able to grow your business. Thanks so much for listening to the Agent Rise podcast. And like always, remember to be the reason somebody smiles today.